In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 not so obvious strategies for creating your very first freebie in your online side business. So to start, I want to kind of disprove one misconception that your freebie needs to be fancy, because it does not need to be fancy. And in fact, it should be simple, because the goal is that you want your new lead to basically get quick results and get a quick win. That is kind of the goal of your freebie. And that quick win builds a lot of trust with you. And so the better you can accomplish that, the more likely they are to become a warm lead who is going to buy from you and become a loyal customer, a loyal audience member. And that means so much more money for you in your business. So let's start with strategy number 1. You want to solve one tiny specific problem. So again, you want to keep it simple. That goes back to that whole keep it simple for a quick win. So with this, you're not trying to teach everything you know in a freebie, because all of that everything you know stuff needs to be in a paid course, because the paid courses that you have, or digital products that you might have, and honestly just your paid stuff, your products and everything, that needs to get them more transformational results. Whereas with this freebie, you want a quick, easy win. So you want to try and figure out what is something they can do that they can implement right away to get actual results. So this super easy way to get a lot of trust from new cold leads. So this can be super simple, just like a checklist or a cheat sheet, or even an ebook. With an ebook, that kind of varies, because with ebooks, they can get kind of lengthy. But I think an ebook is one of those things that can be a good starter. But it's kind of a beginner so kind of like a cold to lukewarm lead. I think that's kind of what ebooks work for. But again, something super simple like a checklist, a cheat sheet, or even like a guide, that can work as well. So, super simple, solve one tiny specific problem. So, a quick example of this before I move to tip number 2 is that this year I'm wanting to start a garden, and I'm doing like raised bed gardens, because I think they're much better for small spaces. But kind of an issue I have is that I'm trying to plant a lot of things this year that I've never really planted before. So if you were a gardener trying to teach me how to do that, and you want to create a freebie to convince me to grab that freebie, something that you would want to teach me is, how do I germinate like carrot seeds or something, because that is one thing I'm actually planting this year. So let's say you're trying to teach me that, you could make a checklist of 5 things that you need to do to germinate carrot seeds, or to get a good carrot crop. So that is very specific. It is one tiny problem in a whole series of gardening problems. So that is a very simple guide or checklist that you can create to help solve that one tiny problem. And it's going to get me quick results, and it's going to give me a lot of trust towards you. So keep that in mind. Whatever your niche is, whatever audience you have, think about some very specific problems that you can solve. And again, keep it tiny, keep it simple. Tip number 2, create it for beginners, not experts. Your audience is going to be steps behind where you are right now. Experts just also don't usually reach out for freebies. They typically will... They already know how to do these things, so they're not going to be grabbing your freebies or anything. Your freebies are going to be for typically total beginners, or someone who's struggling with that specific problem. So that's where your freebie comes in handy. So simple explanations actually convert a lot better than long drawn out explanations. So again, going back to tip number 1, you don't want to try and teach them everything you know in a freebie, because again, these are total beginners. So keep that in mind with your freebie. So if it feels too basic, you're probably doing it right. Okay, so keep that in mind. Again, simplicity is key here. I used to overthink this a little bit when I was creating a few different freebies, I was like, I need to give them tons of value. I need to build all this trust with them. And when I was finished with my freebies, I was just like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. So again, keep it super simple, okay? One problem, one super specific problem, okay? Tip number 3 is you want to keep the format super simple. So this can be a PDF, a Google Doc. You can also do it on Canva. With Canva, I would be more mindful of, because not everyone's going to have a Canva account or going to want to try and print off with Canva. So, or they don't want to set up an account to use Canva stuff. Unless you are specifically creating Canva templates for, let's say your niche is digital designers or something, that would work perfectly fine. So for the most part, for most niches, for most people, a PDF or a Google Doc will work perfectly fine. You don't need to create any videos. You don't need to use a specific platform or portal setup, anything like that. No fancy tech, just keep it simple. Very simple, that is best. So the sooner you get out your freebie, the better. The more chances you are going to get more leads, new people, all that. So formatting, super simple, super easy. Check my notes here as well. Grab a little drink. So tip number 4, we got 2 more tips here. Tip number 4, make the benefit of the freebie super obvious in the title. So again, that goes back to, I think it was tip number 1. Yep, so solving that super tiny specific problem, you can do that in your title. Make the benefit super obvious. So you want to focus on the outcome, not the process itself, because if you think about it, people want the meal, not the ingredients. So they want the results, not the process. So something like how to or a checklist for, those are classics and they work for a reason. So start with these, and then as you kind of build up your audience who might need a little bit different nurturing down the road, then you can use different other freebies like guides or those big ebooks. So that's once your audience are a bit more warmed up. That's a down the road thing. We're looking at your very first freebie. So again, keep it simple. So an example of how you can maybe title your freebie is something like how to germinate carrot seeds, how to get your toddler to fall asleep on time, checklist for 3-day tropical cruise, checklist for refinishing old furniture. So those are some different niche examples of how to title a freebie. All very simple. They explain the benefit, the exact benefit that you're getting in the title of the freebie. So when someone reads your freebie, they should instantly know what it's about, why they want it, and if they want it, okay? So tip number 4, make the benefit obvious in the title. And now on to tip number 5, don't wait to promote it. So your freebie's not going to market itself. This basically applies to anything in business. So when I first launched my website, no one knew about it because I wasn't telling anyone about it. So that's where I was putting all of my blog posts on Pinterest and sharing it to my Facebook and everything. So the more you promote it, the more people are going to hear about it. And that's exactly what you want to do with your freebie. So you can promote it on your blog, like as an email opt-in, or just a straight up download. Just depends on how you want to do it. If you want to build an email list, promote it through your email opt-ins. If you want to maybe grow your Facebook page or like a group or something, put it on your Facebook. Just general traffic, make it as a Pinterest pin, however you want to do this. There's all kinds of ways to promote it. Just whatever platform that you're using, whatever works for you is how you want to do it. And then it's okay to share it before you feel ready. I want you to, a rule that I actually learned, I'm going to actually share a book here. But a little trick that I learned in this book here, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, is that you can reframe anxiety as excitement. And this is kind of a little trick that I'm really hoping to implement and utilize this year in 2026 and really see, I'm curious to see how it affects the way I make decisions and everything. But you're probably going to feel pretty anxious about promoting your freebie. You're not going to feel like it's ready at all. You want it to be perfect. I promise you, perfection is going to stop you. It's going to hold you back. Perfection literally doesn't exist in the world. Everything is so subjective in terms of perfection. So I just want you to check off the list. It's done. You probably see my cat in the back there. But I want you to just publish it and be done. And then start promoting it. Just share it to the world and say, hey, I've got this awesome freebie. If you struggle with problem XYZ, here's a solution. Here's a quick, easy solution for it. So you can always improve it later if you still don't feel confident about it, but just get it out there. That's really all I have to say about that. No one cares that your freebie is not perfect. They just want the results. So they don't care how it looks or anything like that. Just get it out there. So, again, your freebie is not meant to be perfect. It's just meant to get people on your email list or in your network, whatever intention you have for the freebie. Just create it, launch it, make it better if it needs to be. And it's just as simple as that, okay? So the simpler you make something, the more likely you are to actually do it. So keep things clear and simple. Hopefully these 5 steps kind of help you get started. I know you're going to create a great looking freebie. So you got this. Good luck. If you like simple and you want to learn a little bit more about how to maybe write a blog post for the very first time, if you're interested in that, I will actually link to a video on how to write your very first blog post in 10 clear and actionable steps. So I hope you are ready to look into that, and I'll see you there.